Hello and a warm welcome to Federal special program Capital Beat. Countdown to Jharkhand elections have begun. Two-phase polling. One is on 13th and the second phase of polling is on 20th November. Now today Prime Minister Modi was on a visit to Jharkhand where he was in Garhwa today, and today he raised a slogan of Viksit Bharat, saying that there is only one echo among the people of the state, and that is Roti Beti Mati Ki Pukar, Jharkhand mein BJP NDA Sarkar. This is the slogan which he has given, meaning to say that it is the food and the daughters, and this is what the people of Jharkhand want, that there should be an NDA BJP government. Apart from this, he also said that the people have formed the BJP NDA government in the center at Delhi for the third consecutive time just a few months ago. And now there are assembly elections, and therefore now the people will come together to give a thumping majority to the double engine government under the leadership of BJP NDA. But he never spoke anything about Hindutva, and also just 2 days before, when Amit Shah was there to release the manifesto, then he also spoke about various issues. He spoke about illegal migrants. So who seems to be having an advantage in Jharkhand, and what are the issues actually resonating on the ground? We'll try and find out all of that. Joining me now is independent media analyst Siddharth Sharma with us. Siddharth, I'll begin with you. What would you really say to what Prime Minister Modi said, that it is the roti, beti, mati ki pukar, सबको चाहिए एनडीए बीजेपी की सरकार. This is what exactly he said. The roti beti mati ki pukar, Jharkhand mein BJP NDA sarkar, and he talks about the Viksit Bharat. He talks about the developed India. Now, what would you really say to this new slogan? And coming as it does, like, after the Haryana elections, we didn't see too many rallies of Prime Minister Modi, but are we going to see Modi in his original form, what we saw during the Lok Sabha elections? Yes, Siddharth.
Yeah. Whoever has seen BJP for long knows that BJP always takes a two-pronged approach. It is like a fork. It is like a scissor. It tries to give two kinds of narratives. One can say that BJP runs with the hare and hunts with the hound at the same time, but that is how BJP operates. We can also say that BJP is hypocritical in this attitude, but that is how BJP operates. Now, what BJP operates today, the Prime Minister's statement about Roti Beti Mati and BJP ki Sarkar is the progressive BJP face. But however, when you vote for BJP, we also know that BJP tries to push a narrative. Wherever there are elections, BJP has an underlying narrative. So, as far as narrative is concerned in Jharkhand, in the past few days, it is very clear with BJP, with RSS, BJP's top brass, be it Hemant Biswa Sharma or Yogi Adityanath, even with RSS's blessings, the way they have tried to put this narrative right now is the religion narrative. The religious polarization is the narrative for BJP in Jharkhand, and that is what BJP and its workers are doing on the ground also. Set aside a little bit what the Prime Minister comes and says in a rally. That rally might be seen by maybe 1 lakh or 2 lakh people, and a little bit of media coverage can happen for that. But the basic campaign is run by the booth volunteers, the workers, party workers on the street. And that is where a narrative is set. And BJP in Jharkhand is very clear about the narrative. It is taking up the religious narrative. And there is a very good reason for that. I was just doing a little bit of data research. In 2019 Lok Sabha elections, BJP polled 23 crore votes in total, whereas 61 crore people of India voted. So denominator is 61 crore people of India voted. 23 crore out of those 61 crore people, that is nearly 38% of Indians voted for BJP. That was in 2019. Now coming to 2024, 5 years later, there is a 7% increase in the total vote share of Indians. In 2019, if 61 crore Indians voted, in 2024, 65 crore Indians voted. That is a 7% increase. So correspondingly, BJP's vote share or the number of, I'm not saying the vote share, the net number of votes that the BJP polled should also have gone up. Surprisingly, in 2024, BJP is still stuck at 23 crore votes. So in 2019, BJP got 23 crore votes. In 2024, also BJP got only 23 crore votes. In the meantime, 7% of Indians, nearly 4 crore Indians, new Indians voted. I think the BJP ecosystem understood from this data that BJP is not adding to its votes. In fact, it is losing its core voters. That is what this mathematics has shown BJP. And once that happens, when something is rising, we play cavalier. We know that in cricket parlance, when if you see a team batting having a very good momentum, one of the batsmen starts scoring runs, the other side also batsmen starts scoring runs. But once wickets start falling, the team goes into a salvage mode. They go into not a cavalier attitude, but a very defensive salvage mode. I think the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, BJP has understood that it is not adding to its votes. In fact, its votes have stagnated and its core voters are leaving them. That is why BJP is playing the salvage game, and that is where its religious polarization narrative comes to. Now, coming to Jharkhand specifically, uh, compared to last year, in this Lok Sabha elections, BJP in Jharkhand has again lost 7% of the votes. In this Lok Sabha elections, BJP lost 7% of the Lok Sabha votes compared to last year. So BJP knows that it is in a downswing, and when you are in a downswing, when you are falling, you are going into a salvage mode, and that is where the religious polarization narrative comes. Now, religious polarization is like during my childhood, when I was a very small kid, when my father I used to have my birthdays, and a cake would come. And now I am nowadays, when you are adults, you know that when a cake is kept in front of you, you cut only a small portion, a triangular portion at the edge. But when I was a kid, when I was given a knife, the first thing I did was that there was this whole cake, and I cut the whole cake half. Now, by the time I start eating that half of the cake, the knife is no more in my hands. The other person who has the knife, he will again cut another piece from that half. So
Right.
BJP, when it plays the religion card, BJP forces the regional parties to play the regionalism card. That is exactly what is happening in Jharkhand.
Right.
BJP is trying to play this Bangladeshi infiltration card, but JMM, BJP does not have a very good face to say that, because the biggest infiltrator from Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, right now is the state guest of India. So India is promoting infiltration from Bangladesh. So BJP, although it does not have a very good logic for it, but that is the narrative it has taken about infiltration.
Coming back to the basic question today, that Prime Minister Modi was in Jharkhand today, and he spoke about this one slogan, Roti Beti Mati Ki Pukar, Jharkhand mein BJP NDA ki sarkar. Now, this is what he has been saying. And he's again raised the bogey of Viksit Bharat. Now, how seriously, I mean, given the fact that now he begins his carpet bombing rallies from today, from 8th onwards, he's going to be seen in Maharashtra. Can he really boost BJP's prospects in Jharkhand? Manoj. Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to basically say that what Siddharth has pointed out is right, almost near to the truth. But I don't know. This is the way I look at it. Siddharth is perfectly correct in saying that how this particular infiltration issue has been picked up by BJP. What he says is near to the truth. I personally feel that in politics, uh, this is Sam, Dam, Dan, debate. Anything that you use is basically the part of mobilizing the votes. And BJP has been using actually this religious card for a long time, and since its inception, in fact. Here also, uh, the scene is not different. But in Jharkhand, this infiltration issue was not picked up by BJP. It was basically raised by High Court in response to a petition filed by one citizen that there has been too much of infiltration there in that Santal Pagna area, that High Court actually gave made observation, directed the state government. The state government responded unfavorably and said that we have nothing, no problem about infiltration and all. And the central government intervened and pointed out there's a problem and all. I do not know. It has taken a very massive political stage. And in Santhal Pargana, you know it very well, in 1951, the tribal population in that area was around about, say, over 60%. But definitely there has been change there in that place. In fact, the whole country has been undergoing change, because one group, one person goes from here to Mumbai, comes to Jamshedpur, and this is going on. But as far as the infiltration is concerned from Bangladeshi, I think this has to be looked into in a larger perspective. After all, how infiltration is taking place, in fact, the opposition is saying that if infiltration is taking place, it is border security force is responsible for it. How they enter into this area and come to Jharkhand. So infiltration, basically, again, the opposition is criticizing the ruling dispensation, saying that if infiltration is taking place, the responsibility lies with the BSF and central forces. So they have not stopped it, and there's no problem regarding here. But BJP is using this particular issue to divide the people there in tribal belt of Santhal Pargana. That is why, if minutely you read this today's statement of Prime Minister Modi, is three things. Ki, roti, beti, and
Mati ki dukaan.
land. Roti,
Yeah.
beti, and land. What he is trying to say is that this ruling dispensation in Jharkhand is basically taking away your food, uh, taking away your girls, and usurping your land. So these are three very wide, very important issues in tribal belt or Jharkhand belt, because here Hemant Soren and this India Alliance group, they have, for the past, say, 8, 9, 7 years or so, they have been actually raising the issue of land usurpation by BJP. And you know it very well. Everybody knows that since 19th century, mid of 19th century, land has been a very major issue for tribals in Jharkhand. Birsa Munda actually came and launched the movement only on the issue of land. And then in post-independent India also, land was a very vital issue. Then came Raghuvar Das government, that he tried to amend this CNT and Santal Parna Tenancy Act. But
No,
it
but
failed
Manoj,
because
what is the idea now? Is BJP trying to polarize the tribal votes further? Is it trying to divide the tribal votes further? What is the game plan by the clarion call which Modi has given today? The way the BJP people are reaching out to the voters. What is the feeling you have on the ground? Are they trying to polarize? Is polarization the mainstay of the BJP's campaign?
look, polarizing is a major, actually, we could say that the strategy of BJP. If even if 2% of tribal votes shift in favor of BJP, they are going to win the war, win the elections in several constituencies. For instance, I'd like to tell you, today in Garhwa, Prime Minister Modi addressed he is the first Prime Minister to go to Garhwa. No other Prime Minister had ever gone to Garhwa to address the assembly elections or something, or even the parliament elections. Why did he go to Garhwa? Garhwa is not a very, what do you call, tribal belt. It is dominated by Dalits, SCs, and others, but not tribals. But yet, from there, that land of Garhwa, he has given the message about the tribals, about other non-tribals also. So there, you have got how many seats? You have round about, say, 9 seats in Palamu constituency. Out of these 9 seats, in 2019, BJP had won 5. JMM got 2, Congress 1, And another one is that NCP, there's the Sharad Pawar's group down, which his MLA has now shifted towards BJP. But that is the important part. And today he has gone to Chaibasa. Chaibasa is another Kolhan belt where, out of 14 assembly constituency, not one seat actually was won by BJP in 2019. And it is here that you find Champai Soren hails from. And Champai Soren had built this JMM from that particular path. So he is going to two different actually places. One place is Garhwa, the other is Chaibasa. Chaibasa in both places. One place in Chaibasa in Kolan area, BJP had not won one seat. This time they are wanting to open not only the number of seats, but they will like to have more number of seats because of Champai Soren and others. Even ex-chief minister and ex-union minister Arjun Munda's wife is contesting from that particular region. So to my mind, obviously, you rightly raised this question that polarizing the votes on the issue of infiltration is a very important part and parcel of the strategy that adopted by BJP. This is the way I look at it.
Okay, now Puneet Nicholas Yadav, a senior editor with TheFederal, has also joined, and Puneet tracks Jharkhand very, very closely. Puneet, Prime Minister Modi was in Garhwa, and then he'll be going to Chaibasa. And the kind of note which he has struck, saying that it's all about Mati, Beti, and Roti, Beti, Mati ki pukar. This is what he has said. Jharkhand mein BJP NDA ki sarkar. You had Amit Shah speaking about the Bangladeshi infiltrators, and now you have Modi who's talking about this Roti Beti. Now, what do you think is BJP's strategy on the ground? What is the kind of strategy they are keeping in mind, as far as Jharkhand elections is concerned?
Well, Neelu, the day the BJP chose Himanta Biswa Sarma as the in charge for Jharkhand, for the election in charge for Jharkhand, it was very clear that the only strategy would be to cause extreme polarization. The groundwork for that had been laid a month or two before Mr. Sarma was sent to Jharkhand. When they started raising the issue of demographic change in the Santhal Parganas. And so, I mean, that's pretty much the trajectory that the campaign is following. I would not want to second guess whether that trajectory is going to pay off. But from what I gather, it has been having a lot of impact on the ground. Whether that impact converts into seats, I don't know. But even this issue of Mati, Roti, Beti, which you're pointing at, that again by the BJP has been linked to the issue of Bangladeshi immigrants, Muslims, and all of that. So you see, all their different strands of the campaign eventually get tied into the issue of how to polarize, the Jharkhand vote bank. It's of course an extension of the BJP strategy from other states. We've seen this pan out in every election. One wonders why, or actually, I would rather say one has stopped wondering what the Election Commission is doing because it's something on which the EC should have stepped in, not just now, but on multiple earlier occasions. But the EC hasn't. So all of this is part of a very clear strategy to polarize. Because you see, if you look at the 2019 elections, now of course one can say that the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha pattern of voting doesn't often mirror each other in the case of Jharkhand. 2019 was a classic example. And but if you see the 2019 Lok Sabha elections and the assembly elections, and then you see the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, the one thing that is common in particularly the assembly elections of 2019 and the Lok Sabha elections of 2024 is the consolidation of the tribals behind the JMM or the JMM Congress alliance, whichever way you want to look at it. But it's largely because of the JMM. The tribals aren't voting for the Congress because of the Congress. They're voting for the Congress largely because of the JMM. But if you look at the number of seats in terms of the assembly, the last time around in 2019, it was a clean sweep of the JMM among the tribal constituencies. Anybody who understands Jharkhand knows that if it's going to be a clean sweep for the JMM again in these 28 odd constituencies of the scheduled tribes, it would be very difficult for the BJP to come to power again. So what do? You divide that vote bank. It's a pretty simple strategy. The damage it is going to wreak in terms of social unrest in the society and all of that is a different thing altogether. The BJP has never really cared for that, but it is a fact that this is clearly to polarize.
All right. So, Siddharth, now the big, if BJP is clearly trying to polarize the voters on the ground by saying what all it has, uh, how will the opposition really counter this polarization game? Is the opposition ready in Jharkhand? Or we have this big India bloc, which is, so to say, is fighting the elections. And can it really counter this polarization tactics of BJP?
Yeah, right now in Jharkhand, BJP is the opposition and the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha is in the government. So, Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, how is it right now? How the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha is pushing its narrative? I can shed a little bit of light on that. One thing it is going hammer and tongs against is the Parivarvad of BJP, because BJP has given tickets to 5 women from 5 ex-chief ministers of BJP. The second thing Jharkhand Mukti Morcha is going hammer and tongs is that for the last 24 years of Jharkhand being formed, 17 or 18 years of those have been ruled either by BJP or BJP alliances. So it is asking BJP that since you were in the government, how come Vikas did not arrive in Jharkhand during your rule? The third thing that the Jharkhand JMM is going, and it is going pretty strong against it. If you go to Jharkhand, especially the rural areas and the areas that Puneet said, the tribal belt, you will find banners in hundreds, not just dozens, hundreds of banners on the roadside asking the central government when is it going to pay the 1 crore 30 lakh rupees spending central the fund of the Jharkhand's taxes that the center is supposed to return to them. It is those banners have 1, 3 and many zeros, so visually it is very striking. So what is going to happen? I think I agree with Puneet that in the tribal belt, the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha will retain its Adivasi votes. One big player this time who is going to create a lot of, in Hindi mein bolte hain na, raita phalega, is Mr. Jairam Mahto, because he is not aligned with anyone and he is he has a strong Kurmi vote bank. So the Kurmi vote bank may not get him many seats, but it will damage a lot of parties. All said and done, I think right now Jharkhand Mukti Morcha is on the front foot. I'll say that they are the advantage Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, but that does not mean that they are going to form the government on their own. But they'll be very pretty near to the majority. They'll come to 30 plus seats, I think, and the BJP will be the distant second, and all the other parties in Team India are going to be the team players of Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, be it RJD or Congress. Congress last time it got, I think, 16 seats. This time it will perform a little worse than that. It'll still reach double digits, I believe, but that is the nature of the thing. Jharkhand Mukti Morcha is the elder brother in Jharkhand right now. And again, I'll come back to the thing that BJP has cut the Jharkhand cake right into half in the name of religion. Now the regional parties are forced to cut that BJP half into regionalism. So the narrative in Jharkhand is going to be regional, jo Adivasi Asmita hai. The identity of Adivasi identity is going to be the the main narrative as far as Adivasis are concerned, and obviously BJP will try to play the religion card, because BJP right now is in salvage mode after Lok Sabha elections. The data says that BJP knows that its core voters are shirking. In fact, the core voters are shirking from BJP, and that is why it is forced to take the religious narrative to salvage back their core voters. That is the
Right.
Hindutva dominated voters.
Right, but coming to Manoj, and then I'll come to Puneet also. That what are the kind of challenges which are there for the India Bloc parties, whether it is JMM, whether it is Congress, whether it is the left parties in Jharkhand? Will they have a smooth sailing? I mean, people are saying that yes, they do have an edge, but BJP is giving them a tough fight on the ground. That's also a reality.
I don't know. I look at it very differently. Actually, one should actually look into the data available with you, then make the analysis. To my mind, right since the day Jharkhand was created, the maximum number of times BJP and its allies actually ruled the state. And it ruled the state because of the reason that they got number of seats. Out of 81, they got majority, and they've always formed the government. It is a different matter how they performed and what they did not do and what they did. To my mind, I personally feel that this particular election taking place is for the first time it is witnessing one different kind of a composition at the grassroots level. That is Muslim and Adivasi combination. They're two combined together. This is what the ruling dispensation has been trying to do. That Muslims and Adivasis go together. And how this is going to make impact at the polling booth level and how many people vote in favor of it, one doesn't know. But for the first time, it is going to test whether this particular combination is going to basically form government or get out of it. I do not think at the moment one can say that there is a some kind of a hawa bahta hai. It's no hawa baho in favor of anybody at the moment. Because I have toured around the area and I have found that people, basically there's no wave. Then question is how this is going to result. One doesn't know what is going to happen at the end with the results amount we will come to know. I am not making a prediction, but one thing I'm telling you, this is the reason I believe that I think that still in the given situation, BJP will be the largest party and it will emerge as the largest party again. And last time also in 2019, if you see it closely, you'll find that BJP had won around about 25, 26, 24 seats. And JMM had won 29 or some odd seats. 4 or 5 differences were there. And that was mainly because BJP did not have alliance with All Jharkhand Students Union. This time, they're allies. And this alignment actually is going to make a lot of impact at the grassroots level. Second, there is anti-incumbency against Jharkhand Mukti Morcha and Congress. In every constituency I have visited, people have been thoroughly disgruntled with their own MLAs. This happens not only in Jharkhand, everywhere. You go to Bihar, you go to UP, you go to Maharashtra, you find that people generally get totally disgruntled with their own sitting MLAs. Same thing has happened here. In the entire scenario, on the one hand, you have BJP, you have Prime Minister Modi, you have got Rajnath Singh, you have got Home Minister Amit Shah, and others campaigning for the ruling, what you call NDA bloc. But on the other hand, there is only one guy who is standing alone, that is called Hemant Soren. The other leaders who are there, basically, they do not make any much impact. They are not well known also. For example, Congress president, I think is president right now, Kharge, he is coming to Jharkhand tomorrow. He is going to address the what you call rally here in somewhere outskirts of Ranchi or somewhere. But they do not have any kind of base here. Congress party doesn't have any organizational base here. So in this kind of a scenario, it is difficult to make prediction that the ruling dispensation is going to come to power again. I think this is the way I look at it.
Okay, so concluding comments, Puneet. I mean, the campaign has just started. I mean, and of course, people have been going to Jharkhand. But since Prime Minister Modi's first visit immediately after Diwali, and he set the tone today with Roti, Beti, Mati ki Pukar. What does Jharkhand election, according to you, looks like at the moment?
Well, Neelu, just one tiny kind of correction. Siddharth, I think uh, attributed a statement to me, which is not what I was saying. I did not mean to say, and I'm sorry if it came out that way, but I did not mean to say that the JMM is retaining its hold on the tribal vote bank. I said quite the contrary, that the JMM's hold on the tribal vote bank of 2019 is likely to slip this time around because of the kind of campaign that the BJP is running. What I said was, I do not know to what extent it would slip, but it will certainly slip. So I do expect the JMM losing seats in the tribal areas this time around. And I completely agree with what Mr. Prasad was was explaining in terms of the strength of the BJP in this election compared to how the JMM and the Congress alliance is performing. I'll give you one example. You see, of course, you've got Hemant Soren and you've got Kalpana Soren, the two of them, the husband and wife, leading the campaign for their party. Kalpana Soren, we saw during the Lok Sabha elections too, has come across as a pretty solid campaigner for her party. Now, I'll give you an example. Yesterday in Jamshedpur East, there is the Congress's Ajoy Kumar who's contesting from there. Now, Ajoy Kumar is seen as, at least in Delhi, in AICC, he is largely a Rahul Gandhi acolyte. Okay? Now, yesterday for his campaign, he had Kalpana Soren campaigning for him, and he had Pappu Yadav campaigning for him. Okay, but there's no Rahul Gandhi or no Kharge or Priyanka Gandhi campaigning for Ajoy Kumar. That explains to you the Congress's situation. I had, in an earlier discussion we had on Federal, also pointed out how, shortly after the Lok Sabha results, there was a meeting that the Congress was having of assessing the results in Jharkhand, and then a subsequent meeting with leaders from Jharkhand, as well as some kind of a feedback from the JMM, and the feedback was not very good. The Congress's own feedback had suggested that out of its 16 sitting MLAs, 11 are extremely unpopular in their constituencies. The problem was, if they don't field those 11 again, who do they field? Because they have no other alternative in those seats. So with the Congress, that's the other issue. The JMM has tried to replace some MLAs, a few here and there, but the Congress hasn't been able to. So it might end up in a situation like it had in Bihar, where the alliance or the major partner performed rather well, but then the Congress, being a weak link, pulled the weight of the alliance down. But you see, today there was another important thing which happened, which of course followed a few days of drama, wherein you saw one of the proposers for Hemant Soren, Mandal Murmu, who claims to be, who claims his descendants from Sidho Kanu, joining the BJP. And one of the first things he said was that he's joined the BJP because he wants to fight for this, against this demographic change in the Santhal Parganas and all of that. Now, there's an interesting aside to this that I'd want to mention, and which will also tell you how, JMM or the India Bloc, the JMM, Congress, RJD, all of them aren't even able to make cogent points to counter the BJP's narrative, which is very easily counterable, so to speak. Now the BJP has been saying has been raking up this Bangladesh immigrant thing, Muslims running over. You had Himanta Biswa Sharma the other day campaigning in I forget the constituency, but he was campaigning in one of the constituencies in the Santhal Parganas, where he talked about how the land of Sidho Kano and Bhagwan Birsa Munda is being overrun by the likes of Irfan Ansari and Alamgir Alam. And then, of course, the same thing of Mati, Roti, Beti, Bachana Hai from Muslims and all of that. On the 12th of September this year, 12th of September wasn't very far back, just a little over a month ago. On the 12th of September in the Jharkhand High Court, because this issue of allegedly illegal Bangladeshi migrants is also a sub judice matter. There is a PIL in the Jharkhand High Court in that matter. On the 12th of September, the center had filed an affidavit in that case. Nowhere while it blamed the Jharkhand government for not doing enough to address the issue of demographic change, nowhere in that affidavit, and it's a long affidavit, I have a copy of it with me. Nowhere in that affidavit is the word Bangladeshi migrant or immigrant or illegal Bangladeshi migrant even mentioned. There is not a single mention of that word. They have, of course, blamed, as the BJP repeatedly blames, the change in demography to religious conversion and to out-migration of tribals. But they've not mentioned Bangladesh at all in that affidavit. Now, of course, yesterday I heard Hemant Soren address this issue, but I would have expected him to be far more, perhaps even boisterous in countering this narrative, because yesterday he raised a couple of points. He said that, one, the Assam Chief Minister, who has sort of given up his role as Assam Chief Minister and has been camping in Jharkhand as if he's the Chief Minister of Jharkhand, for the last 2 months. I don't know if he even goes back to Guwahati. But, last 2 months that he's been camping in Jharkhand, he's been talking about illegal Bangladeshi migrants, and he's on record saying that they are coming from Assam. So if they are coming from Assam, what is the Assam Chief Minister doing about it? Is a question that the JMM and the Congress should be asking. And secondly, the issue of illegal migrants, illegal immigrants in itself is an issue for the center to intervene. What has the center been doing?
True.
What has the BJP been doing, which ruled Jharkhand either in alliance or in absolute majority for a majority of the period that Jharkhand has been a state? If at all there is truth to this, the burden of sort of proving that we did something to correct it and the JMM did not is on the BJP. And that is what the JMM should have been asking. That, okay, what were you doing for the long years that you were in power? What have you been doing in Assam?
No, but Puneet, Hemant Soren did raise this question that, why did you give, shelter to Sheikh Hasina? He raised that question. But does it really put BJP more on the back foot rather than the India Alliance parties? Because this is
I don't think the BJP is on the back foot at all. I think the BJP is playing on the front foot. Right. And that is something that the JMM has allowed it to.
Right.
And the Congress, by a very listless election campaign. By now, see, the first reaction, unfortunately, of not just the Congress, but even of most of its allies, the first reaction in case of an adversity is of denial. So when this issue of Santhal Parganas and demographic change actually came up, 6 months ago, for the first several months, the JMM and the Congress did very little to counter it. They should have countered it strongly back then, right. And, not allowed it to take this huge form that it has taken now. There's no point. See, ultimately, it is politics and it's election. There's no, the JMM and the Congress are not going to get any silver or gold badges for sitting and complaining that the BJP came and polarized the election.
Yeah, absolutely.
We know that the BJP polarizes the election. What have you done to counter it? That is the simple question.
Right. So we'll have to wait and see how this entire election unfolds. But this has made the battle for Jharkhand very, very interesting. And we'll have to keep a close eye on whatever is happening. And Prime Minister Modi is already in Jharkhand. There'll be several other rallies by various leaders. So I'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Manoj Prasad, Siddharth Sharma. Puneet, thank you so much for joining. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this discussion, subscribe to our channel, send us a feedback, and stay tuned to The Federal.